4 losses now in the Pro League. Not kind of results that redeem what is a very, very kind of stacked roster. I always feel like I look at that roster and I get, you know, a little bit excited. Every single one of them just powerful in their own right. Gobby, the man who can just get inside in-game leader's head. You've got Chris J, this just a player that doesn't really need any introduction. And then you've got the likes of Nico and Nex, who are just these kind of crazy bad... Ooh, caught myself. Nearly called them a bad word. And Dennis, of course, as at the back.
Crazy bah.
Bah.
Like sheep. Crazy sheep.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Chris J will kick things off here with that kill towards Smiths. And you can see Next following up. This is one of the maps I've always, as said, liked Mouse on. And it does seem as though it will be coming to the pointy end on towards this B side. Shox is dancing around. Existence was the one to pick up 1 kill towards Next at least, but outside of that, this looks like very much a Mouse round. The bomb should be planted any second now, as Scream just not going to land that shot towards Dennis's. Existence is the last man standing, looking for a couple on the way out. But the thing I was saying about this map is, in 2015, they had some great results here. They've picked up wins above TSM, above Yanavis, above Dignitas. Now, you know, they're big names. They'd be an envy here. You know, this is not a new map to these guys, and they are very good at it. But Existence is going to make a little bit of bang for his buck here. Picking up another, that's 3 for him, so certainly making it a little bit more costly for Mouse and building up a little bit of economy for himself.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of puts him in a little bit of better stead going into the second, potentially the third. He's going to go ahead and potentially take Gobby out of the running, brings him down to just 10 points of health. Gobby fortunately gets away with his Kevlar intact. And we are going to go into the second one. I'm always intrigued to see the rifle and SMG ratio. And Existence is making the most out of that money. You're absolutely right. Goes full nades and acquires himself a scout.
But this is Chris J's territory. This is him with the scout. Bearing in mind, he will happily challenge down mid with this thing normally. And it looks like he's going to go for that one straight away. So let's see who gets the better of it here. I put my money on Chris J with this one, but doesn't actually get the tag to start off with and gets tagged up himself. So jump scout and comes out, but they're already predicting the play from Smiths coming out through that connector from A, trying to catch him off guard. But once again, this seems like that kind of play up short, maybe just trying to take over the map, take the fights, take the challenges. And as risky as it may seem, these guys keep it in check until then, as RPK did find Nico.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Nova doing damage, and actually did manage to find a connection with the scout as well, as Existence
RPK
does get dispatched of. RPK had power there, but not enough. And then all onto Shox up against what is, I mean, a tagged up Mouse, but really not too much a 5-7 can do. Just inspecting his stat track, seeing if he can add another 4 to those kills. It is not likely.
And the thing that I like is that Nex and Chris J, the two are fairly tagged up, are playing kind of off the back of each other by connector. Bomb's gone down in a fairly safe spot for them too, so they can pretty much place themselves really safely. Chris J could even go on short if they feel threatened, and Shox is going to have to really work against it if he fancied his chances here, but everyone's vacated the site. I doubt he'll be able to get much out of this one, unless Chris J kind of makes his presence known. Actually, they are coming back through that way, so he might be able to get a cheeky kill towards Nex here if he's not careful. And that's all he wants to do here, Shox.
Yeah, he is just desperately just trying to make it a little bit more costly for Mouse, trying to catch them on the exit, and he's not going to be given enough of a chance. Chris J did get brought down to 11, is just about going to get away. I say that down just to an extra 2 points of health taken off him, but that is going to be Mouse, who actually went down. Hang on a second, we lost 2 there.
Yeah. Chris
J.
J.
A scout and a, what did they lose, an SMG as well?
Yeah, I think
okay,
so, but they kept both the AKs.
That's what, I guess, what's important.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be okay, and Shox got to keep the armor, and he's still on the same amount of money as the rest of his team, so it's pretty much just fine. I don't think they'll be able to do much with this round, and you can see the amount of rifles here for Mousesports. Hell of a lot of Molotovs as well, so going to just try and flush out those corners without having to take the challenges, which is just the smart thing to do here. And once again, in towards short we go, just taking over the map, and it looks like they are looking towards B. The bomb is in that sort of position, but RPK, Scream, and Existence all going towards that connector side.
Yeah, so this is starting to heat up a little bit then for Mouse, because that connector is going to be a bit of a gauntlet for which they are going to have to run through. Short, Chris J does put one into his chest of Existence, switches to the Glock and isn't going to be given a second chance, as both RPK and Shox chime in with frags. That's a big step in the right direction for Titan in a round that they really are not geared to acquire. Nico, good damage, and he's going to continue to just knock them down. There's 2 members of Titan looking for the third as well as Shox. He's going to challenge with just his Kevlar 5-7, and he does manage to pick it up. Bomb in the meantime does get planted over on towards B, and he's just going to be happy to retrieve both a Molotov and an AK. As it does look like he's actually considering trying to do one better, charging straight in towards Nexus domain here on short.
Well, risky from Shox. I don't know if he's going to get much out of this one. Maybe just looking for the exits. He just heard that footstep from Nex as well, so... Well aware this player's here. And he gets the spray. He's got the tag there. Nex can't get out of this one, and he will eventually get picked up, but now it's down to Dennis, and Shox knows exactly what's up. Going to dance around by the time, and he's safe as houses. Oh, Dennis actually did the jump just in time then. That was very close, very, very close. But still, really nicely done then. That allows Shox to drop out a gun, keep that rifle, and now go into this round in a really good position.
Yeah, there is an AWP as well about to be in play for, I think it's Smiths is going to be retrieving that one. Going to try and gain some mid control, because it's definitely been seized primarily by Mouse so far. They throw out the same smoke, they get Chris J the same position every single time, and looks like this round is going to be a bit of an exception, considering Nico's on the way towards A. 4 members of Mouse are kind of on the warpath towards B. It's Chris J and Dennis who are going to be the ones to try and make the impression. As soon as that smoke does dissipate, before Chris J goes down next to Shox through smoke. He hasn't finished there. That's going to be 3! They had armor and everything. You'd almost feel like they had Glocks considering how fast they went down. And he's not quite finished just yet. Now we're going to be pushing through. In the meantime, Mouse are reeling off the back of those frags, trying to make themselves something towards A. It's Existence and Scream who are going to be the ones lying in wait.
Yeah, and Scream's in a great spot. He's just buying time. They might hear those footsteps though, so he might have to readjust a little. As Nico, we know this man can do wonders here. Not going to get the first shot off, and actually Scream dancing between it. Nico will land it. That little exchange being one out by Nico again. And look at this man. That's 2 already for him this round. Finally gets put to bed by Existence, who readjusts, waits for God B, and dives in the end with the M4. And that's going to be starting to get themselves into control here. I think Shox can be the one to be thanked for that round.
Yeah, I mean, Shox is solely responsible for that one, turning Mousesports away from B. They tried it, and he just most definitely got the first connection through smoke and just left, kind of carried on through there. Going to be seeing though if Mousesports can make anything happen on this T side. Just a couple of, what's that, 2 P250s and a Deagle then going into this one. If they can get the bomb down, that's going to be a gift, but it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy feat considering they're taking the bomb in mid, and Chris J does lose it.
Yeah, but they've kind of baited Existence out, so Nex will be able to pick it up. I don't think he's going to be able to recover any rifles here. They're all peeking. But
because they tried mid, they've tried B. Feels like we haven't seen an all like an A execute to any real degree. I think the most we've seen them kind of consider towards A was, I mean, what did we see?
We've just seen splits basically.
Nico kind of lingering
working up
around.
There. Yeah, we saw the end coming through. It was God B and Nico working. And utter profound aggression, and hell, he makes it away as well. That is just beautiful. Gone in for it, but Nico's just ahead of where he peaked, so Smith is going to back away, leaving the hands of Scream, who knows there's going to be another hit. God B has been hand in hand thus far, and just like a lamb to the slaughter into the eyes there of Smiths as Chris J last man alive.
Indeed, Chris J, last man standing, actually does possess profound aggression and isn't going to be able to do too much with it. It's RPK then who does take him out of the running. And Titan, that's 2 rounds in a row now where they have managed to keep it completely clean. 5 players still standing at the end of that one, and Mouse's economy is now looking a little less than ideal. I think we're probably going to be seeing a few more nades than that. No, just the 1 flash then for God B. I mean, that's going to keep Anders happy. He does panic when there's absolutely 0 nades. But in fact, you know what? God B Kit does one better and gets himself. Look at that little boost. Chris J just riding on his teammates' heads to get a little bit of a head start.
Just surfing his way to B.
And let's see if they can take Shox out of the running. He was the one that caused the problem. He was the one, in fact, through this very smoke.
God.
His team, and he's trying something different this time.
He's turned from the flash as well.
Side flash, and there it is. It's going to work perfectly. He gets 1, gets 2. Don't you dare continue. It's going to be a tough, tall order, as he's not going to be able to find too much more with the Tech 9, but RPK is happy to continue where his teammate left off, and Existence round the back as well. They are just going to be mowing the remaining Ts down. I say that. Chris J and Dennis have managed to make an impact. Now just 2 CTs remain. Dennis, no armor, no hope. And that's going to be the 4th for Titan.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little excited by Shox here, even on these eco rounds. He's playing it so well. That's the thing. Like when I think back about Mouse and the variations of what we've seen in that kind of since they've added the likes of God B so far, you know, the initial kind of impact of them being a really big addition, how they played on this map was just beautiful. Then we saw them actually shying away from Chris J with the AWP. That was something during the majors we constantly were discussing, but it seems that Chris J is back playing that on a very regular basis, but now against him, the double AWP. We've got Shocks and Smiths here. Chris J expecting the aggression from Smiths to come through by that underpass, but Existence this time straight towards the top of mid. Does make it out alive again. This guy's constantly adding pressure here. Chris J gonna go straight through the molly, go for the peak.
Oh my God.
Existence is dying for this. He wants it, but Chris J says no. That's his to take. Hops up towards shore, and this man wants to make a point now, and he might just have it. Scream, waiting ahead.
Oh, it was just so close. That smoke perfectly timed, just kind of actually aids Scream's escape. RPK looking to try and do some damage, and does so onto God B through ladder room. He's expecting a push to him, and he's going to be completely white, trying to evade him up the ladder. Not going to happen, as Next does continue to pursue that frag, and Mousesports, off the back of what was an incredibly aggressive push from Chris J through the molly, straight into the open of mid.
But look at where Smiths is. Let's just take...
Okay, Nico's brain is no more, and he's looking to do the second again. Not happening this time. As the two Ts are gonna... Oh, that nade landed slap bang on Scream's nose. And now it's a 3v2.
Oh, he denied the plant as well.
Smiths managed to get two, and the bomb's not down. Now all on to Next. He's got some ground to cover as well. He has to cross from Connector. He does catch a glimpse of one, but time becoming a problem now. 20 seconds, and Smiths does reveal his location. He could try and angle a plant here. He is going to be going for that one, as he's going to get hunted down. The Molotov's going to make it difficult. Next trying to reposition. He does find Smiths. Now all onto Shocks. He's got no health. He's got no escape. It's all onto the aim, and it's not going to be enough. Shocks down to 41, and we are going to be seeing another round on the board for Titan.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. What can you say about rounds like that? So much stuff just going on. It's ridiculous when you get these sort of players. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like you get Nico having rounds like that, then Scream just one-tapping people. It's just crazy to see. Just look at this. Just straight up sheer and utter control.
But he knew he was going to hit that. It wasn't a second shot. There was nothing. That was rather nice to look. Rather nice to behold is the word I was looking for. Now, Chris J does opt for his scout once more. He's bringing that back into the action. And actually, this could be the first time we see Mousesports head on for a full-on A. They have the smokes, they have the nades. And actually, it doesn't look like they're actually going to be going announced. They're going straight up towards ramp without too much utility behind them. This is always interesting, because it's whether or not Titan anticipate it. No, they don't. Nico and Next, the double N, finding the entries. They're going to find a third as well, as that site has just been completely seized by Mouse. And that was without the use of their smokes and flashes, just strolling into the site.
This is something I watched Kirby do actually a hell of a lot. Was play ahead of the smokes and the flashes, and it really worked out for him. But seeing a whole team do it, wow. But Shocks, what was that? Just beautiful play coming through. Dennis gets decimated, but Next was there, so keeps the round in check. And even though Next does pick up 3, the round does get closed out. And same can be said for Shocks. So both doing well, but you know, one does provide the round. So Mousesports doing quite nicely on their T side here, keeping toe-to-toe with Titan. And looking at the money, it's not great for Titan here. They're looking a little bit strapped for cash.
Yeah, nor Mouse. They are going to be pulling it together, but there's definitely not too much of a lead brewing in their money. Chris, again, on the scout. Didn't need it last time because it was all on Nico and Next that time. Now, oh, Smiths, he knows it's going to be a smoke through window. Instead goes aggressive. Is forced, though, to back away through the flames because of those mid flashes. But again, managing to get away, kind of gets caught off guard thanks to the use of their flashes and smokes from Mouse. But he's going to be challenged out here. RPK forced to try and be the one to seize mid control. Chris J is going to be the first one on the scene. Not sure why, isn't going to be questioned. Scout VM4, and the Scout prevails.
But here's your man again, Shocks. Do you want to take this? Because it might just get a little bit dirty here. He's waiting out that smoke. He knows his player's here. He takes his time patiently. He gets the first, looks for the second, but he waits a little too long. And Nico knew what was up. And wow, that is a tongue twister.
We've got a speech jammer installed on our microphone.
But still, the bomb is loose. The T-side don't have that into control yet, but Nico is going to make a path available. He can cross past short now and make the challenge. But it's Scream up against Nico. These two players, outstanding play so far, but it's Nico to close it out. Didn't even need the bomb, picks up the AWP and keeps Mouse very close in this race. Yeah,
that's just Chris J and Nico, then 3 for Chris, 2 for Nico. And the AWP is finally going to be making an appearance for Chris J. This time, though, up against an underbought Titan. Does sometimes get a little scary. Chris J goes for something early and aggressive and puts an AWP into the hands of the French. Oh, and Scream's holding a birthday present. That's cute. Oh, he's got his birthday present knife out. That's
Aww.
nice. And it doesn't look like he's going to be seeing too much action with that treat, as the majority of the T side are going straight towards that B side. And oh, Chris J takes Shocks out. He's like, I know where you're going. You've been far too consistent with this B app's presence. He takes him out of the running.
To be fair, Titan's aggression throughout all of these rounds when they're kind of in these positions, excluding the one where I think it was Existence had the open, just went running randomly towards underpass. They do this on a fairly regular basis, and you can see Mouse sitting back expecting it, and it's paying off well. Existence could cause a little bit of a problem, but if he doesn't hold his patience here, Chris J will just take him out. So let's see if he does wait that full timer now, because actually no, are they going for it? They're rotating just in case. Dennis going to be taking that all the way around. Scream actually coming over towards B.
The bomb's not moving though. They dropped it down towards underpass.
Yeah, Chris J will probably just pick it up in the end and bring it through. Yeah. So Existence might be able to catch maybe a glimpse. No, look how safely they're playing this. Even now, just putting the smoke down. If they do walk through it, they'll be destroyed by Nex, and Scream's kind of in the same predicament here.
Yeah, so Mouse are going to try and follow in Titan's footsteps really with these kind of neat and tidy buys.
Yeah.
Not quite the same as we saw in that Inferno game at the start of the day, where you really cannot trust any sort of pistol. And again, Nico gave us a similar lesson with his Deagle. I saw someone actually already posting saying both Happy and Nico are trying to raise the price of the Deagle Blaze skin, because that's the only one that we've seen these absolutely insane aces with. And I wouldn't be surprised if we can actually see like a market impact by plays like that. Regardless, it is going to be 5-6, and you keep saying it, and I think we do need to keep saying it. 5-6, 6 rounds on the T side here on Mirage, and not showing any signs of stopping is good stead for Mousesports in this one. Desperate for revenge, they are thirsty to not see another loss on the board here in the Pro League. That would put them at 2 for 5. Very, very unusual and unexpected, I'd say.
But look at this play from Smith. Let's bring it back to the game here. Just so aggressive straight through. RPK as well playing fairly aggressive. Shock's actually not going as far forward. Christian just going to put down that passive smoke almost to allow him a second to peek. Smith will catch out God B as well. That's the bomb loose. That's a massive impact. Dennis and Nex are coming around the back though, so he might be able to get pressure from the other side here, but he'll have support very, very soon. He just needs to try and stay alive for a couple more seconds. I'm sure he'll expect Chris J. He knows his time's getting a little limited, but he does take down the first. Chris J pressuring from the side. He's trying to stay alive desperately here. And Chris J has to turn attention, but that Tech 9 goes to town, and RPK will be found. And, well, looking at this so far, you've got to say it. Titan play this aggressive, crazy game, but at the moment, Mousesports are dealing with them on every single level. But once again, the bomb from Chris J. Oh, what a way to put that threat to an end. Turns it around. And Mousesports, even though unconventional play from Titan, just pushing up consistently that round. They do deal with it well. 5-7 now, and money-wise, Titan not in the best spot.
Yeah, so how do they go into this one? I mean, it's going to most likely be Mousesports taking it nice and slow. It's kind of the aim of the game for Mouse at this point. They know there's not going to be too much armor or weaponry on the side of Titan, so they like to try usually keep it at a slow and steady pace. And the fact that the bomb is dropped straight there towards the back of mid does indicate just that. To say that, Chris J's going for that early peek on towards Shocks. He found it just the last time. He's going to be able to find it again. This time it's RPK.
He's gone back. He's like, that's not Shocks.
And he's like, hang on a second. Shocks can't be too far behind him, and that molly could just force Shocks out. No, the little lip of concrete is going to be enough to keep him safe. Already, though, damage done.
Yeah. Let's look at this one. Smith's just waiting to see if they push towards A. It's a slow and patient round. No one really wanted to make the move for Mouse. They're so careful. And considering how that previous round played out, you can see why. Shock starts going walkabouts when he thinks it's clear, and you saw them pushing up mid before. But one by one, Mouse are finding Titan. Really, Scream is the last bastion of hope, supported by Smith's here. Doesn't get the first shot off, and it's a quick little 2 cleanup. And the bomb was over by B anyway. So, all in all, nicely done by Mouse, not losing a single player, keeping a vast amount of utility with them as well. And going into this round, you can see as to why. It's a big buy coming out from Titan. They've got the double AWP presence, and that could change things up here. But let's see who picks him up, because I'm pretty sure it was Shocks for a little while who was running it over by that B side, but it does seem as though Smiths and Existence could be picking these up, and Existence has a good spawn towards mid, so I can imagine he'll be going straight up towards that challenge. And Smiths over by A.
Yeah, this is always, it's definitely something that Titan hunt for. Like, they always, when they have the opportunity, are going to be going for this double AWP, it seems. It's debatable, you know, whether or not it's going to be Existence or Smiths or Shocks rather, excuse me.
Yeah.
Who's going to take it? Like, it's definitely kind of an open,
Pretty up in the air,
book.
right?
I
Yeah.
think I'd be intrigued to know the decisions made behind it. Maybe it's just, you know, whoever fancies it in that round. Now, look at this. This is like the most default hold you're going to see from a CT. 2A, 2B, 1 mid. That's it. That's the hold. They're sticking to it.
So the only thing I'd say is, you know, RPK's pretty passive. We've been seeing him pushing up to short pretty early on, but
That's true.
he's chilling out for a little while. And this is probably the most standard round we've seen from Mouse as well. Like, they've been playing off of mid, B. They barely looked at A with more than maybe just Nico, but now they've got 3 players here. Dennis and God B probably looking to go through mid, as it looks like Smiths is already predicting this to some degree. Scream waiting in the same spot here. Smith's going to try and make the shot happen before. Does get caught out. That's Dennis pushing through now. Chris J starts lurking forward. They've got to realise that Scream's waiting here. 3 players now pouring in. Chris J finds him. And that is the A side completely under wraps. They don't even need smokes. They just slowly work their way into the sites, taking the challenges.
Yeah, really, really nice as well. Just their challenge on Connector was impressive to me. That little pop flash thrown in by his teammate to aid Dennis's push, realizing the AWP was there, and then pressuring him as he repositioned. Very, very good. Just like individual plays coming out from Mouse, it seems, and working as a unit here as they get another step, another round closer to revenge against Titan after besting them 16-10 earlier on today. Just trying to keep their rifles then for the all-important final round on this first half here of our final game of the day of the ESL ESEA Pro League. I'm not too concerned for either side at this point. This, though, is a very, very good T side from Mouse. 9, 1 away from double digits just on the first half alone. And whenever you see a team starting to build a lead, especially if they do pick up that 10th, the pistol round is going to become more and more of a pressure for Titan.
Yeah, and as we saw for Titan in the last game, they were actually the ones who picked up the pistol in the second half, who brought it a lot closer. And we are seeing a bit of a quiet performance from Scream.
Same on Overpass as well.
Yeah, quite surprising. And Smith decides to take the molly to the head and goes down to Dennis, but this just spurs Mousesports on even further. 4 players split towards mid. Dennis over towards B as Shocks. Might have to be some form of linchpin here if they do go towards that side on B. But next, going to be challenging on Existence, and Existence is holding back the flood here. Shocks goes down, and that's B looking very vulnerable. Yeah,
absolutely, but mid is going to be all RPK needs, at least just to find the one. It was God B then he managed to find before Nico swung around and found his head. That mod is going to make it difficult for Existence, and Nico continues to do just that. And now Scream needs to come up big. No health to work with. He's already found 2. This would be 4K in the round, matching his previous frags from the entire game. Not going to happen. Chris J gets it, and that's going to be 10-5 then on the half. Mousesports, they've reached double digits, and just as I was highlighting before the start of that previous round, it's time to really see how much Titan can do on their T-side. We saw the distinct lack of T-side Titan on both Cash and over on Overpass, where we didn't really give a chance against Fnatic, to be fair.
Yeah, I think remove the Fnatic game, and we'll have to wait and see. I like Titan's T-side. I've always previously liked Titan's T-side on paper. The way they actually play, the way that they can choreograph their rounds is absolutely beautiful. But sometimes playing super standard like that just doesn't work out against teams like Mouse. You can't just rinse and repeat. As we saw, Mouse barely played any standards, especially when they're going towards A. It looked, it was few and far between. No standard smokes, nothing like that. Just kind of went with it off the back of the picks, which is very impressive. But still, first round coming in on the second half now. Quite important, to be fair, especially if you're Mousesports. If you can get this one in the bag, you'll be holding very good stead for closing this game out in your favour, which is, as you noted, something they definitely need. They are sitting down towards 9th currently, Mousesports, if you don't include the previous results of today, as at the start of the day. But look at this play from Mouse. Already trying to get some map control here, taking over Palace. But while this happens, the bomb was with Smiths. That's Chris J claiming that one. The rest of Titan are left towards mid.
This could spell trouble for the French. Now they have just 3 to work with and actually take it all away. As some numeracy is being done by RPK. Now finds 2 to find a 3rd as well, as he does manage to add them up. Does get caught through your smoke though, and that's going to be costly. Down now to 20. But finding 3 in very quick succession actually is going to be challenging out Dennis. Oh, and Nico. This is a problem, though, because he's not going to be able to deal with both. Dennis finds it, and that's going to be then 11 for Mousesports. It's time now to see whether they're going to go for the same old kind of scout and armored pistol. All right.
I'm just looking at Chris J.
They're going to keep it interesting. It'd be a huge risk.
There we go. So we are going to see the scout back out. But look at the armor the Titan are going for as well. So it's not going to be an easy one. It looks like, you know, the B train is underway. Every single player piling that way. But I wonder if they're going to cut through under, or are they going to go straight for it? It's going to be next to receive. He's got 4 plays. He actually fluffs the nade. That could be the difference here. He only has the SMG to hand and screams straight through. Got B now with the UMP. Going to be put to the same test, but look at this damage coming in. Titan are doing the work here. Nico trying to sneak ever closer. He's got the M4. He hasn't cleared out short thoroughly. Smiths was there. He gets picked up, and one by one, Nico is taking down the brick wall that was Titan until then. Existence clings onto this with that pistol as Dennis and Chris J left with the work as the bomb ticks ever faster. Dennis just brute forcing on the cross, and there we have it. This should be a closed down round, but no. Existence not done just yet. Going to go in for the challenge, and Chris J's there. The fuse will come out, but that was very costly.
Very costly indeed. And I mean, they invested quite heavily into SMGs, so meeting Tech9 armor can cause a little bit of a problem, and it most definitely did. Down to a 1v1. Fortunately, Chris J went a little crazy with his pistol and scout combo, doing damage as well as with his flash. We saw him delaying that kind of Titan group, kind of hive mind over on the site. That's now 12-5. Trying to see those final 4 rounds clinched, and they're going to be picking up an AWP for Chris J in this one. And hang on a second, looks like he's going to be going for an aggressive peek towards Palace. Nothing for him initially though, because middle is going to be the eyes of Titan's affection.
And I like this play from Titan. It's something they often did on maps like Dust 2. They'd often pick up, you know, just the rifles, and then supported by the Tech9s in with so much confidence that 1, they'll be able to pick up the rifles if lost, and 2, they'll be taking guns away at a recoverable range. But right now, it's not really paid off too perfectly, as Nico's the only one they've found here. And Existence might have the chance to get a little more, but just a little bit of a dance and then a back away. Dennis going to get out of that one. And while this happens, RPK and Scream are turning their attention towards the A side. Dennis and Chris J will be the first on the scene. And with 50 seconds left, Godbeat has a little bit of time to get over there as well. Existence really challenging out, but look at it. Scream to find Godbeat. Now Dennis, he's got to be a real linchpin here.
Absolutely, and he is going to manage it. The bomb now loose, and those slippery hands are going to continue to fumble with the bomb. Scream now goes down, and it looks like Existence is going to be meeting an all too familiar fate. Existence now is going to be, I think that's, is he at the bottom of the scoreboard again? No, excuse me, he's at the top of the scoreboard. I knew I'd seen him at one end of the spectrum. He is sitting now over on 11 frags, Shocks with 14 as well in this one. But then you go ahead and look at the side of Mouse, and you have 23 Chris J, 18 for Nico. Their fraggers are fragging, and this is what Mousesports look like.
Good display from those boys, and Titan just going back into this. So you can see they're just going for everything they can every round, pretty much. Existence like, all right, let's P250 armor, hope we can do something. It looks like the B train again next. Ooh, fluffing up, doesn't get it done, but here we go. Nades come through. Got B waiting patiently with the UMP, and it's a tear down. Look at this guy. That's 3 kills. Probably not gonna get much more as he runs out of ammo, but he set it up well until Scream finds 2. Got B next go down. Chris J on the scene. Scream gets another. He's got 2 more to find. He's got 3 to his name, and he's got the rifle and the armor. Picks up the bomb. 1 minute, but there's still Nico here, and Nico has been his...
They're going to hear him. They're going to hear those footsteps.
They're surely going to hear that. Yep. They are. There we go. They're already turning attention. You can see them both starting to rotate. Scream has 50 seconds to pull off something phenomenal here.
And I'm not sure whether he's registered that they're going to be fully aware. Like, he must have kind of figured that they'd be close. Maybe anticipating more of a presence in kitchen, which would mean he was unnoticed. But here he comes. He's about to walk into a very scary death trap as the 2 CTs lie in wait. He's like, I've been foiled, the plan's over. And as this pincer movement does move in, Nico picks up another. And Mousesports closing in on victory here. A very different Mousesports to what we saw on Cash, or rather actually a bit of a different Titan.
Yeah, maybe, as you said, that Fnatic game a little more frustrating individually than expected, but God be here, making the most of that UMP, just showing us how it's done. Yeah, the flash worked out perfectly, just split up 3 and allowed the other 2 to come through a little later, but still, Scream, very dangerous as a player. You can always see that in the way he's able to perform as an individual, but still, 3-2 split coming up from Titan, 3 towards mid, 2 towards A. Smith's on the slow play through those apps. Existence going to be looking towards ramp, but Chris J actually getting dinged back a bit, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go back for seconds and catch out RPK as Shocks. Just goes for a walkabout, but can he find anything with it?
He did catch a glimpse of Nico as well under balcony, and he's going to try and throw a nade, but he waited too long. He bided his time, and it ended up costing him his. There's now Smiths. It's going to be forced into a rather dire scenario. 1 versus 4. What was that? Now 1v1. He's taken down 3. This could very well be a 4th. He doesn't have the bomb, though, and that bomb is in the clutches of Dennis. A crucial round now for Smiths, and he's given Chris J a lesson or two, it seems, with this scout play. Rocking the blood in the water, and he can most definitely smell it as well, as this could be rather special from the French. He's kind of ruled out Connector because of that initial look, and 40 seconds left, he needs to get that bomb. Does so. Dennis surely can hear him. It's going to come down to how quick he can flick. Not going to be enough, as Dennis does take him down and out, and that's going to be just another step closer for Mousesports. 15 now. That's getting terrifying for Titan. Their money is not great.
No, it's not. Like, they can pull together a buy here, but
there's no
very
AWP.
limited utility. No AWP to be really seen. But look at this play. You know, the thing is that no one questions the skill of these boys. It's just, as a team, that's what we want to see, is how much can they do here. And actually down to 4 players, it seems. Maybe someone just struggling at the end, but we'll see if it does close out in this round. Maybe they just need 4 to encourage them, who knows. But the P90's back out for next. A little bit hard up for Cash, and Shox will punish. Does get that kill, so bring it back to a 4v4 now. And Dennis going to exchange on towards him. But while all this happens, the bomb is by top mid. That's the biggest problem here, because those 2 players by B could have broken through. Scream and RPK were slowly getting there, but with that bomb once again loose, this situation is not looking good for Titan.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. You're absolutely right. And now, I mean, the fact that Nico is just again going to be babysitting that bomb does pose a couple of question marks. One was, where did Existence go? What's going to be done about that? And now it all comes down to Scream. 50 seconds to keep his team in this game. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very much needed, I think, game for Mousesports, trying to put another win on the board for them. Scream's not done yet, though. And oh my god, they just keep fragging. That's 2 now. He's looking for a 3rd. He's going to get it. That's 3. Mousesports' brains splattered across the walls of Mirage. It doesn't look like he's stopping just yet.
Unreal, absolutely unreal. How many times does they need to be taught a lesson by Scream to just not challenge like that? Now, can God B read the situation well? Can he read it perfectly? A man known for his game sense here, already expecting Scream to be heading towards A. Time is of the essence, and Scream's going to go for the challenge. He's got the shot, he gets the tag, he gets the frag. That's 4 for Scream. Perfect play from such a insane individual.
God damn, that was... This has just been a fantastic night of casting, Lauren. We've been given a couple of individual showings, I think.
Oh, yeah.
As Mousesports not going to be picking up that win just yet, and that does put Titan back in the running, considering now they are going to be going up against money as well. A very poor Mousesports.
Considering Scream was a little quiet, let's say, overall, with not necessarily just consistency. I think that's a harsh way of putting it, but a little quiet in performance today. Overall, that is a brilliant round for him, and Shock's going to make light work of 2, and Titan doing well here, not taking too many risks, not allowing Chris J to get in on this, and now next dealt with smoothly. Every player stays alive. Titan get a little bit of hope back in the game.
I mean, you win a round, you start with 4 after an incredible clutch like that. There's going to be a little bit of raised voices on communications, and that can do an awful lot for awful lot of teams. And
double eco basically coming out for Mouse.
Yeah, that's going to put 8 on the board for Titan, you would assume. And of course, I do say assume. Nico has a deagle, so I'm not going to say anything.
We learned our lesson.
Yeah, we did. I was right. I'd written that round off. Anyway, damage from Chris J does connect. It's going to be a little bit of a tickle on towards Smith, down to 84. A bit of a spread, a light spread of the T's.
I just get nervous seeing Nico doing that, just peeking out with the deagle. But yeah, it's the pitter-patter of not so tiny feet. And God be the only one to get a kill in this round thus far for the CT side on towards Scream. And this probably won't go any better for next. Probably.
Probably is an understatement, I think, holding that angle. As the bomb does go in, and this would, of course, be Titan starting their journey back in the running of this best of one.
Oh my God.
Next, don't you dare. 2 more to find. It's Smiths and Existence. I've had enough of screaming about Deagle plays. He has put an AK in his hands. He's got 2 more players to find. Fortunately, Existence saves the day, and that's going to be a much-needed round for Titan. On their way back, but it's going to be a long and dangerous trail No room for error at this point, as Mousesports now, after their double eco, are going to have enough to really put up a fight.
What is going on with these Deagles recently?
It was a Deagle Blaze as well.
I'm
just saying.
The conspiracy is real. Anyway,
€10 increase.
Kill by kill. Smith's going to be the one picking up the ult this time, and Chris J on the opposing side. And it looks like a lot of presence towards mid, and that is going to give Chris J free reign. Already finding Smith's his opposite number. And Nico going to follow up on towards RPK. This looks like a big round coming out, but Nico into the flyer, just dropping down towards mid, and Titan falling like flies. It's down to 2 already, Alex. This is not looking like a winnable round. Then again, Scream is alive.
That's the redeeming feature, absolutely. Existence is still hanging about as well, with just 21 points of health, but a full stacked up Mousesports roster are on the hunt. The other redeeming feature is that the majority of them are away from A. Chris J still in middle. 3 other players, including Nico, are away towards more T-spawn B. Fortunately, Chris J is on the rotate. That smoke's going to be enough of an indicator that he should probably get himself over there. Next is taking the hint as well, as they're about to walk straight in, and Chris J takes Scream straight out through ramp. Looking for a second as well. It's going to be Existence who is going to go down. Chris J, so damn strong. 3 kills for him to end that round and pick up a much, much needed win for Mousesports in that one. They were sitting rather low on the standings at the start of today, and they were